Hundreds of white nationalists storming the University of Virginia.
In a car plowing into a crowd of demonstrators protesting against those white nationalists, a 32-year-old woman killed.
When you look at white supremacist groups, a lot of what they do in terms of recruitment is kind of like what you might call a soft sell, kind of reel the person in. It's almost like, getting fish on the hook. Then you start to ratchet up the language in terms of intensity and extremism. The idea of illegal immigration has been a wedge issue that white supremacist groups have used for a long time. This government is being overtaken by people from the outside, and so it's really this kind of more of an insider-outsider issue, and eventually they can pull a person along to see this as a racialized issue, that essentially whites are on the verge of extinction, they're a minority in their own country, they see the U.S. as a white country. There's kind of a misnomer or kind of folklore stereotype about white supremacists tending to be people from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, people who are less educated, redneck with a gun rack on their pickup truck type thing, There's also folks who are involved in white supremacist groups that are highly educated, doctors, lawyers, engineers, and so forth, people that come from middle-class backgrounds, that come from upper-class backgrounds. So you do really get a wide cross-section of folks who get involved in white supremacist groups. And this is really important to underscore because it shows that these groups have a much broader kind of recruitment potential than folks often recognize. One of the things that we find is that individuals often have backgrounds where they've experienced substantial trauma before they ever come in contact with white supremacist groups. The white supremacist group, though, gives them an ideology. It gives them an outlet for their feelings of frustration and aggression that stem from this unresolved trauma. The ideology gives them targets about where they should direct their aggression and violence towards. The worst thing we can do is shut down dialogue. So even obviously dialogue that we don't necessarily agree with, or that we find dangerous in some ways. We have to find a way to allow for different kinds of dialogue to occur. And if we start picking and choosing the kinds of dialogues that we like or that affirm our beliefs, then that multicultural aspect of society does become very adversarial. And it becomes hard to have a more kind of congenial multicultural society if we're only going to support points of view that kind of affirm our own.